I've been wanting to let a TBR jar choose my reads for the longest time now, so I think today is the day. I have a bunch of prompts written down, and I wrote down ones that I think will be just like fun to go through, so I'm gonna read them and then put them into this jar. So I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different prompts, but we're only gonna choose maybe 4 or 5 because these are going to be books I'm reading next week. So make sure you guys are subscribed because there's new videos 3 days a week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. One of you guys actually said that you missed like my upload on the 1st of November, and there literally wasn't one because in October I shared videos every single day, but now that we're back into like the regular schedule, you guys will get videos 3 days a week. But then next month I've decided I'm going to do Bookmas, so you guys will get videos every single day again in December. So you only have to wait like a month until you like get daily videos again. But I have a bunch of different prompts. One of them says the book is a 5-star prediction, and I actually don't rate books very I don't know, highly. I feel like most books are like an average, like 3 stars. They're not like super, super crazy high. So it's really hard for me to get a 5-star read. But there are some books on my TBR that I think are going to be 5 stars. Another prompt is a genre you don't usually read. And I actually am doing a video coming up very soon with a genre that I don't normally read, and all the books are in that genre. So if this gets picked, I might tell you what that video is, which I think some of you guys can probably guess it. Another prompt is a book with a person on the cover. Another prompt is an author's debut novel. Another prompt is a book with a great first sentence, which I think that'll be fun to pick out if we get that one. Another prompt is a book you've had for a long time. Another prompt is a book with a purple cover. Another prompt is a popular book. And there's 2 more prompts left. One is a book with a 5-word title, and another prompt is a book with a pretty cover. So all of these prompts I think will be really fun to do, but I have picked these specifically because I'm a huge mood reader, and so if I end up like picking a book I don't want to read, I will literally be so sad because I'm just like such a big mood reader. So I think I'm going to pick probably like 6 prompts or 5 prompts because I'll probably read like 4 books. I usually read between like 16 to 20 books a month. I read 14 books last month, which is probably like the least amount of books I've read in like a really long time because normally I like read so like many more than that, but even still like 14 is a lot of books. The month before that I read 19 books. The month before that I read 19 books. The month before that I read I think 17 books. So we are big readers over here. I also love reading diverse reads. Like I have in my TBR 20 books, and I'll link that video below if you guys want to see all 20 books in my TBR. But within the 20 books, I made sure that 10 of them are diverse reads by Black authors. But also there are queer reads, there are books that have different types of relationships, and just like all different types of like backgrounds. So I love supporting indie authors, and I also loved sharing books that have like very little reviews. So you guys will see very often, especially if you're new here, you'll see there are books that I will literally pick up that have like, I don't know, like 300 reviews on Goodreads or something like that. So they're not super well known, which gives you guys the ability to find new books that maybe you guys have never like read before or heard about before. So yeah, that's kind of just like a little insight into like what I put on my TBR and why these videos are so fun. I've never actually done a TBR jar chooses like my TBR because I'm such a mood reader. So we'll see how this goes and if I want to do this in the future. I'm only doing this like for the week and not for the full month because I am a little nervous that if I did like a TBR jar chooses my TBR for the whole month that I would literally be like so miserable. So this is just like a little trial to see like if maybe this is something that I like, and if it's not something that I like, then I will just like never do it again. I have like done a TBR jar chooses how many hours I read, which that was really fun. So you guys can go watch that video if you want to. We're gonna shake this up. I don't even know what these are. Shake it up good. I tried to make them all like roughly the same size because I thought that, I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna be like able to figure out what is in each one, but I want them to be the same size so I don't like automatically gravitate towards like a bigger little like slip. So let's pick the first little Prompt in this jar. I have never done this before, so this is gonna be something really fun. The first one, let's start with this one. It says, a book you've had for a long time. So there's lots of books on here, like literally so many. Let's see if I can find one that I've had for a long time. I feel like most of these are fairly like new books, books that I haven't had for a super long time. Let's see. I do keep my TBR up here, and then these are some of like the newer books. So looking specifically on the TBR that I made with like the 20 books on my TBR, I think maybe I'll just like stick to that because these are like newer books that I've done in like hauls. A book I've had for a while, and these are gonna be the books that I specifically read literally like next week. So like they're gonna be the first ones in my TBR. I feel like I've had this book for maybe like a really long time. Finding Jupiter. I think this book came out, I can't remember when it came out, but I remember I bought it like right after it came out. So I've had it for a pretty long time. And on the inside, it says, Ray, just once I'd like my birthday to be about me and not the day my father died. I want to be Ray Jr., the tall girl from Memphis with the poetry beats and the braids that stay poppin'. And when I meet Orion at the skating rink, that's exactly who I am. He pulls my hand, and instead of being defined by the past, he makes me believe in a future. Orion, when I dive into the pool, it's just me and my heartbeat. There's no dad, no dead sister, no distracting noises, but I can't hold my breath forever. And since I met Ray, I don't want to. The closer we get, though, the more I see I'm not the only one caught in her wake. With a lyrical blend of found poetry and poignant prose, Elise Rowe delivers her stunning debut about young black love and the decades-old family secret that threatens to tear it apart. I'm not going to read all of these because if you guys want like a synopsis of each book, I literally talk about every single book in my like TBR for like the month. But I've had this one on my TBR for a while. So that's the first book. I guess I can put them up here. That'd be kind of nice to like be able to look at them. So let's look at the second prompt. And this one says a book with a person on the cover, which I feel like is super easy because I really only read like romance and thrillers. We're gonna read Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I've been wanting to read this for so long. I'm actually kind of getting excited for these books because I know I'm specifically going to read these next week, which like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes having 20 books on a TBR and just like so many to choose from. Granted, I do read like roughly that much a month, but having so many to choose from, sometimes I'm like, where should I choose? So this is nice kind of having like my own little books picked for next week. Maybe I'll start doing that like more often. Like I'll let the TBR jar like choose my books for the week instead of like, or maybe not instead of, but and like I'll do like a video with all of the books that I choose for the month, and then every week I'll maybe do like, I don't know, TBR jar chooses the book that I read for the week, or books I read for the week. So Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, and I actually am a big mood reader, but I've been wanting to read her books for a while, and I've been wanting to read Out on a Limb, but I cannot get myself to read it because it's so overly hyped. So I feel like if I read a shorter book by her, maybe I can get like enthralled by her writing and then want to read more books from her in the future. Oh, literally I'm looking on there, don't even have a prompt. This one says a genre you don't usually read. Okay, so now I get to tell you guys what I'm going to be doing like for this video. And I'm actually gonna pick out 3 of these books because I think I'm gonna do this over the weekend because there's so many of them, but I will make sure that one of the books is like next week. So maybe I'll read one of the books on Sunday. And the genre is reading fantasy for the weekend. So I'm gonna be reading fantasy for the first time. I'm not gonna show you guys these 2 books. You can probably see them honestly as I just like pulled them out, but I will show you guys that I'm going to be reading Fourth Wing, and I have been like, so many of you guys have told me I need to read Fourth Wing, so we are doing it finally. I feel like this is the perfect season because it's cozy, and also the second book, Iron Flame, comes out in a couple days. So I'm going to do this video over the weekend reading a genre that I just like never read, and it's fantasy, and then I have 3 books that I'm going to be reading. I'll obviously show you guys these in the video, but I'm going to keep these down here except for Fourth Wing, and put that one up there as the pick. So let's see, maybe 2 more. Let's see. All right, this one says a book with a purple cover. Oh my gosh, okay, purple cover. Let's see, okay, we got some good books there. Maybe I'll do this one, Fly With Me by Andy Burke. Now this is a queer read, and you guys know I love to diversify my reads. Like I have an indie author here, I have a black author here, now I have a queer author here, and then I have a fantasy that is like very popular. So on this channel you will see not only like smaller books or indie books, but you'll see super popular books read, and I try to really get like a diverse breadth, if that's the word, of books. So I'm not just sharing like super popular books, but I'm also sharing books by authors you've never read. But I also want to share the popular books because I want to talk about it with you guys, like the books that you've read. So Fly With Me is a queer read, and I think it has like a fake dating trope in it, but what really pulled me into reading this is there was so much dialogue in this, and that is my favorite thing to read, just like when people are just like having banter and talking back and forth. So again, if you want to have like a little synopsis of each book, head over to the video that I did where I shared my entire TBR of all the 20 books I want to read, and then you guys can see exactly like what each book is about. And I think this is going to be the last one that I read. And this one is an author's debut novel. This is so funny because I literally just picked that up. But I already know the book that I'm going to read. And I can literally find it. It was actually on my TBR for last month. Oh my gosh. One Summer in Savannah is a good one. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll pick one more. I don't know. There's so many good books. Okay, so this was on my TBR for last month, and I've been wanting to read it. The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. She has one book, and it's this one, and this literally blew up on Black TikTok. Like, everyone was talking about this book. Everyone's like, you have to read it. And so many of you guys have said that I need to read this, so we finally are. So I'm adding this to the TBR. I feel like I kind of want to do another one, but I feel like this is literally enough. So we're going to end the video off here with the TBR picks. Let me show you guys what we ended up picking out. So we are going to be reading some fantasy books, and these are these are books out of the normal genre that I read, but we're going to start with, or maybe end with, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and then we're also going to read 2 others, and this is going to be in another video, so make sure you guys are subscribed, because there's new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so 3 times a week, every single week, and then we'll be doing Bookmas next month in December. And then we also got the prompt that is a author's debut novel, which was The Art of Scandal by Regina Black, which I cannot wait to read this because just so many people have said that it's good. A book with a person on the cover. We picked Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I've never read anything of hers, but I've heard so many good things, and I feel like this will be a good book to read to get me to reading out on a limb, because I don't want it to be overhyped, you know what I mean? And then a book that I've had for a long time, I picked Finding Jupiter by Kellis Rowe. I've had this one for a while, and I feel like it's time to read it, which is literally why it's on my TBR to read. And then we also picked up a book with a purple cover, and this was Fly With Me by Andy Burke. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys subscribe because there's new videos 3 times a week, every single week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!